Hello, everybody. It's Friday. We made it. That's a good thing. So, welcome to the broadcast. If you're here with me live, hey, hey, hey. If you're watching the replay, please put hashtag replay in the comments so that I know that you were here. So, today I wanted to just talk a little bit about self defeating behavior. And what that is it's almost like self-sabotaging in a sense, because the simplest way for me to put it is you're doing things that are taking away from the things you should be doing. So, like distractions, you have these distractions and you don't realize they're distractions. Um, and so it's kind of like avoidance. And I wanted to talk to you guys about this today because I've done it before and I did it for a while. And so it's good when we understand the reasons why we may not be at a certain point, or we're not getting the desired results that we want. And when we sit back and reflect on things that we're doing and things that we're not doing, and I think we should do this often. It's something that we should do often. I probably spoke about it previously on a different live about actually just taking the time to be mindful. Um, because when you practice mindfulness and you practice calming your mindset, calming your mind, just, stillness, then you can actually get clarity on these different things. So it's really important to do while you're on your journey, wherever you are on your journey. And when you are finally ready to focus on financial freedom, then you'll find yourself getting less distracted with less important tasks. So, and these are things that take away from getting to that next 10K, 20K, 50K income month or whatever your business goal is. Okay. So, and these are the things that we have to, like I said, identify and address them one by one. Okay. So oftentimes we tell ourselves we're ready, right? We're ready and it's time to increase our financial abundance and that type of thing. And we're still not there. Something is holding us back. Something is just keeping us down to where we're not moving upward and onward. All right. So your business idea is great. You've made money in your business. But if your structure and follow through are not up to par, it can kill your cash flow and your results. Okay. So that has to be a priority. And then the question is, what is on your priority list? What are the things you have on your priority list? And a lot of times, the things that should be on the priority list, we're not doing them. We're not doing them. And I get it because, like I said, I've been there. I've done that before. Just kind of doing things off to the side that I didn't need to really be doing. Like I could have handed off. And so it becomes a distraction because it's like, well, I could actually hand this off, but no, I choose to do it myself. So if I choose to do it myself, it takes away from me doing my income producing activities, right? And it slows things down, right? So if we're talking about moving on a faster path to manifestation and getting the things that we want, we have to understand where we need to step it up. And this is really about leveling up in your leadership and making sense of everything in your business so that it can flow in a cohesive kind of way. So, and I see many women doing, I see many women just, finding it hard to delegate. I still find it hard to delegate some things because I'm like, they're not going to do it the way I really want them to do it or how I would do it. But there are certain things that we have to let go of. Okay. Because we need to get back to the things that are going to pay us. All right. And we're selling high tech, especially if you're selling high tech. You need to make kick-ass offers. You need to have confidence, commitment, and consistency when you're making offers. And in order for you to do that, yeah, you have to release some things and let some things go. Okay. And so, from an internal standpoint, just as much as you do the work, you have to believe from your core that, yeah, it's going to work. This is going to work. This is how we have to program our minds to think. Like, we can't have the self doubt creep in, the self sabotage, and this, this because we're defeating ourselves. It's all self defeating behavior. Um, and we can't let those things tell us otherwise, because whatever it is we're focused on, whatever it is we're doing, it's going to work. The key is focusing, right? The key is focusing, and the key is really identifying where you need to let go of things so that you can focus on the right things. Okay. So that everything is flowing. There's nothing worse than having your business not flowing the way that you really want it to, because you're feeling stuck, you're feeling stagnant, you feel like you're in a box. You just feel like you can't move and you don't know which way to move. And then you need to take a week off, or you need to take a month off to regroup and reset and all these different things. Okay. So falling back on the issues is not the key. The key is really identifying and confronting the issues and just facing them head on. Okay. And you have to tell yourself every day that you are enough. You have that enoughness power to break through the rough patches, because it's never a smooth road. It's always going to be some type of bumps in the road. But those rough patches that come along, you can get to the other side of whatever it is that's in your way. Okay. And you say until you tell yourself these things until it becomes an automatic thing. If you need to write it down and just have it next to you for when you wake up, and you can just look at it and read it every single day, but you have to tell yourself, I am enough. This is what's going to work for me. You have to, and create your own words of empowerment that will get you through the day. Okay. Yeah, with distractions, what's distracting you now is only going to cause you resentment, breakdown, overwhelm, frustration, So this is why it's important to really identify what is distracting me from the things that I really need to be focused on. Okay. Because you don't need any of it. And if you want things to change, you have to do things differently. You have to give yourself permission to actually think differently. And you have to couple it with your skill set in marketing, dominating your niche, and attracting people to your brand. So, and that's all, that all has to do with the messages that you're conveying, of course, to your market, and your magnetism. Okay. Your magic. Okay. So yes, you can have a multiple six-figure business, 5-figure months, over and over and over again. But you have to, believe that you are actually enough to get there. And that's that. You are enough to get there. You are enough with what you have right now. Okay. Now, I'm going to get into the skill set in a little bit, but I wanted to just really emphasize that, that you are enough right now. You're equipped with everything you need to get you through. Okay. And then we have to get to a point where we're not caring about what other people think. And I know we hear this a lot. We hear this all the time, not caring about what other people think, because it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you've been through, where you are now, what your circumstances are. No, anybody can have an opinion. Anybody can be judgmental, but you don't need the validation. You only need to validate it yourself. Okay. You only need to validate yourself, and that's it. That's really all it is. So we don't want to get to a point where we are doing things to hold ourselves down. And with self-defeating behavior, if you're caring about what people think, if you're caring about judgment and being validated and things like that, that is something that you are imposing on yourself. Okay. That is something that you have taken on yourself and you're letting it paralyze you. And we don't need to be in those types of spaces. So, I can sit here and I can run through different mindset challenges and issues that come up because they're always coming up. It is our responsibility to work on these things every single day so that we're continuously in the flow of getting to whatever it is we want or whatever it is we desire, because we are in manifestation mode, right? We are. We are. And if we want those things to show up, there's some work that we have to do on the back end. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I mean, planning becomes another thing. Planning what we want, planning what we're going to do, but not actually executing. So that keeps us stuck, right? So that's kind of like a tug of war. Oh, it's not right. It's not all the way right. My ducks aren't in a row. So all these different things come up. Okay. So how planning can keep you stuck. That is that is a whole conversation by itself, because you're thinking about it, you're deciding how all of it makes you feel, but you're not really doing anything. Where's the execution? Okay. Um, it's really something that can keep your wheels spinning, and then you're not gaining any traction. So what happens when you don't gain any traction? You're stuck. Okay. So the key really is to stop trying to be perfect with your plan, letting go of perfectionism. All right. Because there's no reason why you can't increase your conversion ratios, why you can't get noticed and make the type of impact that gets you to whatever monthly goal that you want. Okay. Multiple six figures or whatever it is that you want. There's no reason why you can't do any of those things. This all comes down to the things that we do to ourselves. Okay. There's no reason why you can't make minor shifts to avoid certain pitfalls. Pitfalls that can cause your business to sink or just kind of like plateau. But instead, you can sharpen your business model so that you can scale. Okay. And this is where your skill sets come in. Okay. But the whole point is having regular forward movement, right? We want to keep moving forward. We never want to stay stuck because that doesn't feel good to us and it doesn't feel good to your bank account. All right. And sometimes I do like to speak on just the little things that can hang us up, can keep us just, in a space where we're just kind of hung up and we're not we don't even realize it, like, oh, this font doesn't look right. This color isn't right. This should look like this or this should look like that. It's not cohesive. It's not, blending. It's not a good look, this and that, all these different things that you could really be, my website is this and my business card is that. And, these are like the little things. These are the little things that you can, get someone else to handle for you. And you don't really have to think too much about it, about the detail, about the design and all this stuff, unless that's your line of work. Other than that, if it's not, then no, these are certain things that we need to hand off. Okay. So we got to set some boundaries. We have to set some boundaries and not give in to things that will impede the growth of our success. All right. So another thing to do where this is concerned is identifying where the misfortune really is. Okay. Because if you want to leap into, let's say a 20K month, right? Let's just say that, throw out a number. Um, you have to identify your misfortunes. And I'm not talking about your bank account either. I'm not talking about your bank account. I'm talking about what are we thinking? What's going on in our thoughts and in our minds that are holding us down and not keeping us from getting there. Okay. Also, you have to increase our length of commitment so that we don't struggle. What does that look like? We talked about the priority list, but what does your commitment list look like? Like, what is that? What does that look like for you? What are you committed to? What do you want to be committed to? Okay. What about forgiving yourself and then recommitting? Because a lot of times we beat ourselves up for things, but then we have to recommit. Okay, so we have to let it go. We have to learn to learning, learning to letting things go should be on that priority list, honestly, as a thing to do. Because it's a process. It's not something that can happen overnight. It's something that you have to continuously work at. It's like a muscle that you have to continuously work in order for it to develop and actually show up. So, yes, what do you need to recommit to? And how are you going to do that and continue to do that so that you're not struggling with your actions, your thoughts, or your emotions? Okay. So, once you understand how to do that, then you 10x your confidence. Okay. Now, yeah. So basically there are times when you're gonna need to settle down internally, like I spoke about mindfulness and things like that. But you settle down internally with a lot more peace so that you get clear on some things that are not working in your business. And that's really the only way, is getting quiet and really understanding where you need the clarity. Okay. So what I will say though is that sometimes it gets hard before it gets easy. And that's just the way it is. And sometimes we make things harder by not focusing on what we need to be focusing on. So, I remember a time when I spent late nights and early mornings in my room. And, I was on my laptop and I would be doing busy work, right? But I wasn't really being productive. And that was the thing. It was like, I'm so busy, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but it wasn't producing anything. So how can I sit and wonder why I'm not getting the results that I want? Because I'm doing a lot of busy work and I'm not doing productive work. Right. So the things that I had been doing, they weren't pulling me into a space where I can make the type of money I knew that I deserved. Right. And I would often cry about it, and then I made it a thing to not cry during business hours. So I would just cry at night. Yeah, I would cry about it, but I had to put out some fires, and these were fires that I created for myself. So when we talk about identifying, it's like, yeah, you look back on things and you're like, okay, well, that's what was happening. You may not see things right away. That's the thing. You may not, but eventually you will, if you take the time to sit back and reflect and become aware. Okay. So, and I'm telling this because, sometimes we hold on to things that we need to let go of in order for us to move forward, get clear, and be open to receive. So that's an allowing thing that we need to do. Okay. And so in addition to that, you may feel like you need to skill up on some things. You need to increase your skill sets on some things. So, and that's just about building more skills, incorporating new ones into what you already have, just to make things work. Okay. So if you know you need to skill up on sales or your marketing or whatever the case is, then yeah, embrace that. Don't ignore it. That should be on your priority list. It's something that should go there, you know. And not only that, but changing your habits, right? Every time we reach a new level or we're about to reach a new level, we need to change our habits if we want to get there. Sometimes we need to let go of some things, and sometimes we need to adapt to new things. But we need to make adjustments somewhere, and changing our habits can do that, right? If you need to make more money, if you need to change your life, what skill sets do you need to work on in order for those things to happen? All right. Because, following simple steps in the next year, the next 2 years, will have you making the type of money that you want consistently every single month, right? But like I spoke about traction, I spoke about all those different things that has to happen. So it has to be a continuous forward movement for any of these things to happen. Okay. Now, one thing you have to do is you have to stop changing your plan. See, that's the whole thing. If you're stuck on I need to keep changing things because this isn't working or whatever. Yes, but give it time first. Give it time first. Don't just let it be a week and then you're making changes. I've talked to women who have changed things. Oh, well, this happened in one day, and then the next day wasn't happening. So I stopped doing it. You gave it one day, so that kind of baffles me, when you don't give things time um to actually see if it's working, if it's not working. Okay. This is in your business and in your personal life, with changing your habits, with doing things internally and reflecting and writing things down to empower yourselves and things like that. You may constantly change it, but give it time first to see if you need to change it or if it's something that just needs to develop, like that muscle we talked about. Okay. Um, but changing the plan because of you seeing other people doing certain things and you think you should be doing that is not what needs to happen. That's something that comparison thing, I always say comparison is another dream killer. That's something that you have to deal with. I had a mentor a long time tell me, just keep your blinders on and keep your head down because you're going to see things. You're going to see people doing things and they look like wonderful things. And they look like they're seeing a lot of success with these different things. And it's like, I should be doing that. No, let me stop doing, no. You don't change up the plan because so-and-so is doing something and it's working for her, right? We don't do that. We stay in our lane. Okay, stay in your lane. Your path is different from someone else's. We have to understand that and we have to embrace that. I think embracing our journey is really, whew, it's really a thing to do. It's really a thing to do. Okay, because we need to stay on our own path. Okay, so creating new products, it's not going to work unless you know what people want. You have products that aren't selling and you gave it time to actually see if it's selling, then yeah, you may need to create something new, but it's not going to work, like I said, unless you know what people want. And you have to talk to your people and do your research first to see, because you may not even need to change a whole thing. You may need to just tweak it. So you have to just look at just the spaces where things may need a little work. Okay, not necessarily a whole do-over. A lot of people think they need to rebrand when you just need a partial rebrand, right? You don't need to do a whole rebrand. Sometimes it's just a little bit of tweaks that you need to make. That's it. Okay. And I'll probably talk about that as well the next time, about when to rebrand and when it's just, certain things you need to just tweak. um so building your tribe, building your mailing list, understanding your market, those are the things that are priorities. Okay. So if that's not on your list of priorities, it probably needs to be there as well, because that's what's going to help you to make more high ticket sales. All right. Um, because you need to make the right offers at the end of the day, you know. And I see a lot of women, they have a lot of things in their heart that they want to share with the world. And I get that. And that's not a problem. But commit to something. Commit to something. Give it time. Um, get to the other side of your fires, whatever those are. Figure out your plan. Take the steps you need to get you out of the red zone if that's where you are. It's kind of like the stuck zone. In the red, yeah. If you're in the red, you need to get out of the red and get into the flow of abundance. And so hopefully you can take this and see where your self-defeating behavior is happening, which parts need work, which parts need to be addressed, right? Where you need to address things. So you're not alone. Keep going. I hope you have a great weekend. And yeah, just take some time. Take some time for you this weekend and actually see what happens, see what comes up. It's always amazing when you get those answers. All right. So if you need any help, if you need any type of clarity or breakthrough in certain areas of your business, then yeah, send me a DM. Let's have a chat. And because I want you guys to get in a position to where you are finishing the year on a strong note. Okay. And you're going to be ready to take off in 2023. So yeah. So let's get that in motion. Right. Let's get that in motion. Let's do the work now to prepare us for elevation. All right. So take care. Send me a DM if you want to chat. If you have any questions, leave it below and I will get back to them and I will answer them as soon as possible. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Take care.